G'day viewers, how you doing? This time we're going to go through a tutorial of how to get this thing working in Train Sim World 5, this thing being the TSC-X Train Simulator Controller. Right, so I'll just make that a bit smaller because we don't need it filling up the whole screen. The way I'm going to set these up, and if I show you the other screen, you can see I've already got it set up because I've tried it out in a past video, as you saw, but I'm going to reset it and go back to the start. So I'm going to set this one up as throttle and brake. I'm going to set this one up as the train brake. This one is the independent. I'll be using the thing that they recommend as the reverser as the horn. And the reason I'm not using it as a reverser is that it's a switch with an A, and center off, and a B position. So it's not an axis like the joysticks are. I really wish it was an axis. That would work better for me. AWS, alerter, left and right doors, bell, sand, PZB release, PZB acknowledge. I'm not doing PZB free because I hardly ever use it, so it can just be on the keyboard because there's not that many buttons. Bail off, important for American locomotives. Reverser will be this switch, lights will be this switch, and emergency will be this one. I'd love it if there was another switch, since I have to use this one for the reverser. I could use this, but there's reasons why not. And the reasons why not is this reverser assumes a two-position reverser, whereas a lot of them have 4 or more. Some of them have 5. So, yeah, you need a bit more variety. Being able to click back and forth is helpful. All right, so let's get into it. And I learnt a lot when I did the introductory one. If you want to go through that big journey, please watch it. But it was like an hour and a half. So we'll just do this one and we'll do it a bit quicker. So I'll just turn on the other monitor so we can see the actual Cobra software. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'll have to look over here. I'm sorry. It's just the way things are in my desktop. I'm going to go into lever map, and I want to make a new lever map. And I'm going to call it Sim Workshop Tutorial. And you have to select a region. I'm just going to say UK because you have to pick one. And then I'm going to say create a new button map, and I'm going to call it Sim Workshop Tutorial. Right. And you can call them whatever you want. And you can make up a lever and button map for each region, or you can make one per locomotive if you want to. That's fine. So you do you. I'm making generic ones because that works for me, and I'm doing me. That sounds wrong. Also anatomically impossible. Okay, good. So it's still remembered some of the stuff that I've got before from the master joystick assignment. So what I am going to do is clean that up, I guess. Can I just do new? I can do new. Oh, that's the master lever map. No, sorry, I don't want to change that. I want to change mine. So that's fine. So what I'm going to do is go in here, and I don't want this to be the reverser anymore. So I'm going to clear this one. So I'm going to delete this controller axis. It doesn't delete the reverser, it just gets rid of that. And let me get rid of all of the other things that it's defaulted to Raildriver and stuff like that. So we'll just get rid of all of these. Get rid of the whole lot so it's nice and clean. And it remembers everything in its master list, you see. So you're going to want to clean these up anyway, regardless of what they say. Normally it'll have Raildriver stuff there. Now the reverser we're not going to put an axis on because we don't have one. For steam engines, I want to use this one, but I've been having some trouble with that. So we're not going to do steam engines today. And if you go to the big long journey one, you'll see why. So throttle and brake I am going to use. This is good for PBCs, normal throttles. You just don't use the whole range. And for throttle and dynamic in American locos. So a very important one. So I'm going to assign that to this one, the left-hand one, which is Sim Workshop X. And I'm going to say it's reversed because that's the way I want it to be. You might want it the other way around, and that's fine. Train brake, I'm going to assign this one to be the middle lever, which is Sim Workshop Y. And the same thing, I'm going to say it's reversed because that's the way I want it. You might want it the other way around. That's perfectly okay. Loco brake, I'm going to assign that this one. And I'm going to say it's reversed because I'm being me. Now you'll notice it's also ticked throttle because throttle and bacon throttle seem to be ganged somehow. It doesn't matter. Just leave it that way. Now, none of the other things in here, which could be on levers, are going to be on levers. So you can click OK out of there now and say, yes, I want to save my changes. That's perfectly good. Thank you. So now that we've got our levers working, the next thing we need to do is assign all of our other things, our switches and buttons, to be keys. So we do have our buttons, and I'm going to go edit the button map because we are in Train Sim or Sim Workshop tutorial, and I'm going to say, yes, I want to edit that map. And basically, I'm just going to work my way through this thing. So the first one is AWS Alerter DSD Reset. So I'm going to assign a button to this command, and I'm going to push it, which is button number 0. So that's fine. Now, bell. Why do I want a bell button? Well, because I do. But we should work our way just through these and set them up as we go. So I'm going to go and find doors now. There's an awful lot of things you can set. So doors left, open, and close, because that's what I'm going to use this button for. You can use the buttons for anything you want. This is just what I've set up. And we're going to assign that one, button number 1. Doors right, open, and close, we're going to assign this one, which is button number 2. Now, these we can all leave alone, and they're fine. So the next one we want to do is bells. So let's go back up and do bell 1. Now, the only reason I'm doing a bell is because on a lot of American locomotives, when you press the horn, it starts the bell. What? But anyway, that's fine. So I'm going to assign a button to the current command. There we go. Bell number 3. Now, the next one is sand. So let's go find sand. Sand is very important. It helps with your traction. Lead sand. Is there one that's just sand? Sand decrease, sand increase toggle. That's the one we want, okay? So we'll assign a button to that one and go bonk. Button number 4. Next one we're going to do is PZB release. So PZB release, there's that one. We'll assign that one. Bonk. And PZB acknowledge will be the next one. If you don't do German locomotive, you could use these for something else, of course. Now, we're not doing PZB override because you hardly ever actually use it, and I'll just use the keyboard when I do need it. This one's bail off. Again, it's one that's only used in American locomotives, but it's kind of important to keep your dynamic brakes running if you're using air brakes as well. So I use it quite a bit, and you can't do it with the lever. So I do want to have it on a button. Now, I don't see it there as bail off. So we just got to find it now. It'll be here somewhere. It'll be called something else. Hopefully it's available as a button. I'm pretty sure it is. Independent brake decrease, bail off. That's what we want. Okay. Bonk. Button number 7. Do. Now, this one's a little bit of a weirdo. We're going to be using this for the reverser. Most people would probably use this for their headlights or their wipers, but I'm not going to. So, reverser decrease, I'm going to assign this one and go bonk to the left, and that's button number 8. And reverser increase, I'm going to go bonk to the right and assign button number 9. So 8 that way, 9 that way. Next one is headlights. So let's go and find these. I kind of to and fro about putting the headlights on, but you always seem to do it. So yeah. Now, headlights are a little bit funny, but we're going to do headlight front increase. And that's going to be this switch going to the right, button number 11. And headlight front decrease is going to be button number 10, which isn't picking that up. Why not? Oh, because I said assign a lever. You twit. Right, there we go. Okay, button number 10. Lovely. Good. It's a good thing that wasn't a lever, isn't it? Now, emergency brake. And emergency brake valve. That's the one we want. So we're going to assign this button and we're going to push it and then release it so it gets happy again. Sim Workshop number 12. Now, horn. It's that time. Now, horn's a bit weird So we've got horn 1 increase, which is space, and horn 1 decrease, which is N. Now, that's not actually quite right because that's actually high horn and low horn. So we're going to use them that way. So we're going to go assign a button, and we're going to use that one, button number 13. And then for low horn, which is round the wrong way sometimes, we're going to do that way, which is number 14. It doesn't have a position in the middle. Now, there's a couple other things we need to do for some of these, and horn is one of them, I think, but the reverser is going to be the most important one. So for the reverser, to make this actually work properly, particularly with very slow American locomotives, we need to edit this command, and we're going to put in 500 milliseconds, and we're going to hold it in the pressed state. And for increase, we're going to do the same thing, edit the current command, and we're going to put it in the pressed state, and we're going to say 500 milliseconds, which is half a second. And you need that to be able to push that lever all the way over. Shorter times will work fine for other stuff. Now, that's all of the things configured. Now, I don't think I need to do anything else with this. I think we should just be good to go now. So let's save this button map. So we're running Sim Workshop tutorial, and hopefully we're going to be working in here. So let's jump in. Now, I'm not going to calibrate because I found during my giant journey that didn't seem to be necessary. So we'll see how we go. I could be wrong. Let's jump into an easy one. Let's start with the class 153. That'll probably be the only one I do in this tutorial because after that, everything will pretty much work because we know that from our giant journey. So let me just get started with this. And hopefully everything will just work and this tutorial will be magic. If you find the levers are a bit weird, you might have to calibrate. So we'll see how it goes. Now, you do need to, in the software here, say start callback. That's very important. And I'll get rid of this screen now because we don't need it anymore. Actually, before we do that, let's just check our ranges. So we can see when I move that one, I get the throttle and brake, and I'm getting 0 at the top and 1 at the bottom. Hopefully that's right. Train brake, 0 at the top, 1 at the bottom. Loco brake, 0 at the top, nearly, 1 at the bottom. Nearly. All right. Not 100% sure that's actually right, but I'm pretty sure I reversed them in the journey. So let's just get rid of the screen and let's give it a crack. Let it work or it won't. Okay. Brakes. Let's try that one first. Yep. So that's working fine. And we can get into emergency if we want to, but we don't really want to. Let's bring it back down to brake notch 1. Let's put in a master key now so this actually works. And her noisiness is added. Okay, my reverser's not doing what I want it to do. So we'll have to come back to that. What about the throttle? Is that working? That's sitting on max at the moment. And that's not working properly. Brake is, though. We don't have an independent brake in this one. What about our light switch? Is that working? Yep, that seems to be fine. Okay. So that one's going okay. Let's just pop back to the Cobra software because I did set that based on an American locomotive. So let's just stop callback. Key maps, go into the button map. We'll edit the button map. And we will go down to the reverser. And let's just have a look at what we've done here. Reverser decrease and reverser increase. Edit the current command. Let's just delete that out of there and leave it blank. And we'll edit that one. Same with that one. We'll just delete that out of there and leave it blank. And let's try that. Start callback. And let's go back to the game. Ah, there we go. That's now working. Might be holding it a bit too long, I think. So we might need to find a halfway house between... Yeah, it's flipping through them a bit too much sometimes. Okay, so we need to change that a little for this. So we may actually have to make some locomotive dependent stuff, but let's just edit that stop callback and edit that button map again. So you see, even though I've done this, there's still a bit of trial and error going on, which is interesting. Okay. Let's come back down to the reverser again. We'll edit that command. Let's just drop this to be a little bit shorter. So say 400 milliseconds. And it's picked up Crest again. It's okay. Edit current command. 400. It's interesting that still has Prest in it, actually, isn't it? Because I took that out before. Actually, let's get rid of it. Say okay. Save the button map. Yes. Alright, start callback. Let's get rid of this window. Back into the game. Let's see if it works now. Reverser. That's better. That's reliable now. Good. That's working quite well. Now, what about our brakes are fine. Good. And throttle? Throttle's also fine. Okay, so let's pop the brakes on again. Just going to brake 2, and let's... Does the AWS work? Yep, the AWS works fine. Let's set our lights to day headlights. And let's get the left doors open. And we want to turn on our safety systems. This DVD. I think there's only DVD, actually. And over here, there's one for AWS. Now, what about bell? Good. And sand? Good. PZB won't do anything. Bail off won't do anything. Reverser we've tried. Does this one have an emergency brake button somewhere? Don't think it does. But, yeah, there's no need to try that one. Horn? Okay, that's actually backwards to what I would have thought, so might be just this locomotive though. But what we'll do, let's pop back in there and we'll see how to fix that. So stop callback and we'll go and edit our button map. This is good practice anyway, for if you find something you can see what you need to do to fix it up. So horn 1 decrease, let's make that the other way. So we will edit the current command. That's fine, we just didn't want to edit it, we want to assign a button. So we'll pull that down, give it button number 14, and it'll say you've already got that. Do you want to delete it? Yes, I do. Okay, horn 1 decrease. Let's edit that. And oops, didn't want to edit it. Did the same thing again. I want to assign a button to it, and we're going up that way and give it button number 13. So we'll save that. We'll save that, and we will start callback again. And we'll go back to 1080. Okay, get rid of that, and that's better. That's the way I'd expect it to behave. So let's lock the doors. And I'll give it a little bit of throttle so it doesn't roll, and release the brakes. And we should start moving. Good, I did leave it in forwards. Just drive this down to Dingle Road and make sure it's working. And that'll be it for this tutorial. Now you're going to want to go through various locomotives and test them when you set it up for yourself, just to make sure it actually works for you. And have a think about, what do you want to map the buttons to? So if you just drive American Freight, for example, you probably use these buttons for different things. If you just drive German locomotives, you probably would put on a BZB free, because you don't care about the others. So it's all about what you want. Alright, let's bring us down to a stop for Dingle Road. And I'm going to overshoot this. Embarrassing demonstration, but there you go. That's fine. As they say. Objective failure. Oh no. Let's open the doors anyway. They won't get in and out, but let's just prove the buttons work. And they do. So it's fine. Alright, let's close that up and let's call that one quits. So I think that's it for this tutorial. And if you've got any questions, chuck them down below. If you want to see how I work this out, I'll put a link into the Giant Journey video because it was an hour and a half while I was figuring out how all this stuff worked. Okay, that's it for this one. Yay! Alright, enjoy yourselves, folks. See you later. Bye.